the woman that Donald Trump wants to serve on the Supreme Court as the justice who will replace RBG, the woman who, you know, he praises for the adopting the children and being such a great mom, served in a religious group as a handmaid. What does it mean that Amy Coney Barrett served as a handmaid in a religious group is the headline in the Forbes argument. And I wanted to ask you, what does that mean to you? There are many people who don't identify as Christian. There are many people who don't identify as Muslim, Jewish. Some people are atheists. Some people are agnostic. Some people are Buddhist. This is the United States. It was founded on, it is constitutional for you to have the freedom of your religion. But your politicians who are fighting against separation of church and state are now putting these extreme religious people in positions of power so that they can not only implement, but also continue to enforce their religious views by ways of laws. And of course, if you are a handmaid, you are told, of course, that abortion is wrong, homosexuality is wrong. So what does it mean when someone who holds those views, who's been part of a cult, is now having a voice in the laws of the land that affect the people who have mostly been affected by these laws, that who have been affected the most, the marginalized people in this country? You know, when we talk about abortion, we always take it to a religious place. We don't talk about how abortion has been used to keep people of color down, Black people in this country, because if you want to make it a law issue, this is just another, you know, straight to prison pipeline for women of color who are having abortions, people who are in marginalized areas who don't have the benefit of resources and money and might have to resort to having an abortion. Now we're talking about abortion from a political standpoint and not just the religious one. But if you have someone whose religious views is vehemently opposing women's choices with their bodies, you know, a handmaid is very extreme. That's not, you know, a Southern Baptist going to church every Sunday. A handmaid is someone that belonged to a cult. And that is an extreme way of thinking. And now you're taking that to the highest court of the land. These are the things that you should be asking about, no matter where you are on the political spectrum, whether you want to call yourself a conservative, a Democrat, a liberal, a Republican, a right-winger, whatever you want to call yourself. These are the questions that you should be asking, because you never know when these laws are going to directly affect you. And you should be thinking about it. As a recovering Catholic, the handmaiden wants males to have deep control of our bodies and want Black and Latinx folks to be submissive to their Anglo theories. And that is a recovering Catholic. That is someone who says, I belong to this religious group, and this is what being a handmaid means to her. So here we are talking about these things, and everybody wants to get riled up when you talk about their guy or their girl, because you have an emotional connection to these politicians, because you are not consuming this stuff as a constituent, but as a fan. And those of us who are concerned are not only about our democracy, but our communities, have to bring to light that these things are happening, and these are the things that need to change for us to have a better America, because they affect my communities and communities of color and people who are marginalized the most. So I don't know if she was actually a handmaid, but from what I've read, there were several articles written about her being a handmaid. She also took paid speaking engagements from white supremacy groups. I read that as well. So the thing is that when these articles come out about people of color, Black people in this country, you hear about every aspect of their affiliation with people who are deemed to be bad, criminally minded, or doing unethical stuff. No problem in telling you that Kamala, that Kamala did this. Cory Booker took money from pharmaceutical companies. No problems uh, bringing this to light. And those of us who are objective thinkers have to receive the information and say, you know what? This is wrong. This is not okay. This is problematic for our government. We have to be able to do that with everybody, right? So how is it that it is misogynistic to take to task this woman who may very well be bringing her extreme religious views into the highest court of the land that is going to be making decisions, not just about Roe versus Wade and the criminal system, but our actual voting process and our actual election. And we should all be very concerned that everything should be of balance, including that Supreme Court, because when your day is up, and your day will be up because all of our days are up, and you have to be held accountable by that court, or you are affected by a law that is being decided by that court, what you gonna do? I think that the choice was made too early. I thought that it was unfair, being what we had to deal with President Obama and his Supreme Court justice choice, and how Mitch McConnell just ran through it and said no. And now here we are making a decision in the midst of a pandemic. This woman who's supposed to be the cure because she's replacing a woman who may have very extreme views, is not, it ain't it. She also voted in big corporation interests and against workers. And I'm gonna tell you this, I watched The Handmaid's Tale. It was a woman who did us all in. So, hey man, you can believe whatever you want to believe. That's the beauty about being in this country. You can actually see it, say it out loud. But we should be concerned with that is what oppression is, when your personal views get to affect the lives and livelihoods of others. That's my opinion.